Hi and welcome to A Day in the Garden with me, Christina Linder. Today I have picked some flowers in my garden and I thought I would show you quickly how to make a proper round hand-tied bouquet. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take a look at everything you picked and you want to strip off all the leaves on the bottoms of the stems like this. Maybe trim that little bit off. And we have some sunflowers here. Picking off the leaves off of the bottoms. I'm just dropping them on the ground because I can rake them up afterwards. But this is a bad habit that many florists have. They just drop the debris on their floor when they're cleaning flowers and stuff. That's a habit that doesn't transfer very well into the kitchen when you're peeling tomatoes and potatoes and things and you just drop the garbage on the floor. So I have also some nice alstroemeria here. Alstroemeria is named for Jonas Alstroemer, who was apparently a Swedish botanist that found them in Peru many years ago. And here we have some things that have a lot of dead leaves on them. There we go. And I had a couple of stems of these really beautiful lisianthus. So when you're making bouquets, you don't need large quantities of any of the ingredients. Just a stem or two of a bunch of different stuff will look very nice. So lisianthus, very pretty. And then this is a nice little bit of purple. We have some white cosmos here. And you can see this is pretty straightforward. You just don't want to damage the stem when you're doing this. More cosmos. And if you're going to pick flowers in your garden and arrange them, it's a good idea to pick them early in the morning before it's gotten hot and to set them into some water to drink with a bit of flower food in the water. It's great if you can do that in the morning and then leave them in the water in a cool space for a few hours to hydrate before you start making your arrangement. So this looks really complicated, but it's very straightforward. And I'm going to start with 2 stems and I'm going to cross them over. So you can see here how the alstroemeria goes on top of the sunflower. And we can turn the sunflower that way. And then now it gets easier. So we're going to take a mix of our flowers and we're going to keep putting them in this sort of direction. So they're going to keep crossing over. And you can mix them up a little bit. And you're just basically going to keep stacking them like that. And then you can turn them over. Mix in some other material. So the whole idea is that all the stems are going to keep crossing over in exactly the same direction. More sunflowers, or cosmos. And we can flip it over again. We'll put these little hydrangeas in here. And it's nice to vary the bloom materials so that all the yellows aren't in one same spot and so on and so forth. But that is designer's choice, and if that's what you want to do with your bouquet, then you should do exactly that. And some veronica. Put it in there, and then some more lisianthus. Now this one has a branch that starts really far down, so you can cut that if you want and use it in 2 pieces. There. And there's one little more hydrangea. And now we're getting down to the last little bits. last sunflower, and you're going to have a little look. This can be, it can be very helpful at this point if you'd like to look at yourself holding the bouquet in a mirror to see if it is even. I also have some hosta leaves here, but there's a ton of different foliage from the garden that can look really good in a bouquet. So there we go. You can see how it's all nice and round. What I would do at this point is I would pull out some things that I want to be a little bit taller. And the cosmos are great for that. Give them a little gentle love tug here. Like that. And then you get a little bit more movement in the bouquet. So now is the time to tie it off. Now, if you wanted to at this point, you can cut them appropriate length for the vase that you have in mind. But if you're giving this bouquet as a gift, for instance, you might want to tie it off. So what I do is I like to use rubber bands, and you can link them together like that. And then I'm going to hook that onto a couple of the stems, and I'm going to wrap it around 2 or 3 times, and then I'm going to hook it onto another stem. And the good thing with rubber bands is that they don't cut into the stems of the flowers. Now, this final step is to cut all the stems to an even length. So if this is going to be out of water for a while, then you'll need to recut them before they go into water. Because otherwise they're not able to drink as well, and then chances are they'll wilt. You want to cut them at an even length, and then you can get them to stand like that. Now, if you did this correctly, it'll stand on its own. You can now, if you want to give this to somebody, wrap it up really nicely. If it's going to be out of water a really long time, then put some wet paper towel on the bottom, and spread joy by bringing flowers from your garden to your friends. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was fun for you to watch. Send this little video to somebody that you think would enjoy it. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.